I am back from Florida, and here, once again on stream, to talk about the insane shit that conservatives are trying to do to our country in order to take away your rights and sort of solidify their ability to rule with an iron fist for generations to come. You see, we're going to be talking about abortion rights today. But we're going to be going a little deeper than just discussions around abortion and talking about how there is no getting around the blatant, indisputable fact that any attempt to limit not just women, but uterus having people's rights to access to safe, healthy abortions is basically a death sentence for countless women and is a downright evil action. This is a constant piece of knowledge you need to keep in mind at all times. And you need to also remember, we are morally in the right when we fight against these pro-lifers. Lately, there's been a bit of a trend of animation YouTubers being based as fuck. And honestly, I could not be happier to see this. Like, recently there was Jaden Animations made a video about how she's asexual. And, like, it was like a big, you know, pro-LGBT post, and it went super viral. Pretty young audience that Jaden Animations has as well. So that means that that's a lot of young people who are going to have positive LGBT representation early in their life, which rapidly decreases the chances of them being, you know, bigoted towards those groups. And just a few weeks ago, this flew under my radar, and obviously 10 days in Florida, couldn't cover it any sooner. This video came to my attention by Illymation, a popular animation YouTuber. It was called Why I Got an quote-unquote abortion. Now, we're going to watch this video. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, and I might skip around a little. I am going to mostly let her speak for herself, but I also have a lot to add on to it, so this isn't going to necessarily be a reaction video. But the information that is provided, along with the story that is provided, is really, really important context that you guys need to know going into the segment. So, this is the video. Let's check it out.
We're starting the...
Also, full disclosure, I've already watched it. I've already watched the video in its entirety. This is not a like a reaction in the term, like me reacting to it and you know, not knowing what's coming. Like with most of my content, I have fully watched through this one and pre-watched it. The reason I'm showing it is as a tool to help me make a point I will be making later in the segment.
Anesthesia. You might start to feel drowsy. Okay. Oh, yeah. A little... Whew. Oh, boy. And a little...
Also, probably content warning on this video. Like, I feel like some of the subject matter we're covering might be a little bit, you know, sensitive for some people. I imagine if that's you, you probably know. And, I don't really need to go further.
Oh, loopy. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling real Fruit Loopy. All right, we're going to take you into the OR now, okay? Okay. Hey, you want to know something crazy? If I was in Texas or Alabama or something, I don't think I'd be able to do this. What? Oh, honey, of course you could.
2 weeks later.
Hello, my name is Alyssa, and in
I know it's sped up, and so you could only see it for a second there, but that was Roe v. Wade getting overturned.
January 2022, I could tell something was very, very wrong with my body, which, to be fair, is a common occurrence for me. I battled eczema as soon as I popped out of the womb. I then survived pneumonia before I could even spell pneumonia. I was later diagnosed with asthma and went to asthma camp. I've struggled with my mental health and only recently found out I was on the spectrum. And you do not want to be around me after I've eaten cheese. Cheap bathroom humor aside, in 2022, my restroom was no longer a place of rest. Because I had just gotten my period, but it was nothing like it had ever been in my 25 years of owning a uterus. This period was extremely heavy, and I grew up with heavy periods. But this varmint was not privy to being tamed. Mother Nature managed to...
Uterus havers in chat, I understand some of you might be like younger, like maybe later teens to early 20s, and maybe not like the most medically aware. Like I literally learn about new potential medical issues that could just pop up one day and just fuck your life every day. So just a general rule of thumb is if you have a like wake up one day and you've had like a period that is insane, it's not normal and something's wrong. Like insane, worse than anything you've ever had, especially if you're like into your 20s or like late teens and you've had a few. Then chances are you need to see a doctor, and the sooner the better, because if something is wrong with your uterus or your fallopian tubes or where your eggs are, this can kill you. If it can be a rupture, it can be a tangle, it could be a growth or a cancerous tumor or a polyp. These can all kill you. And time is of the essence, especially when dealing women in particular, when seeking medical attention for things involving their reproductive health, tend to run into a lot of roadblocks, particularly with male doctors who don't take them seriously, or perhaps will even refuse to offer certain medical attention because they want said woman to, say, be able to bear children for a future husband they don't have or intend to have. Stuff like that. So it is really important that you get on top of this shit sooner than later if you start to notice, like, an unusually massive period.
To soak through regular-sized pads in 2 hours or less. A new personal record! Good for you! Why are you doing that? Oh, God! And the pain. God. Again, I know.
My point is, you need to, like, catch on to it quickly if something's wrong, because you might have to see multiple doctors to have anything done about it.
No period cramps, all too well. But this pain was worse than cramps. It was unending, uninterrupted, and unyielding to Advil. It left me bedridden. And anytime I did get up to, eat, pee, or clean up the Kool-Aid again, I would get lightheaded and dizzy from the blood loss. I also unintentionally lost 10% of my body weight. But thankfully, after a week on Mother Nature's wild ride, it stopped. Well, kinda. The debilitating pain was only a temporary thing, but the period stayed. I mean, it did go from Splash Mountain to more of a lazy river, I guess. But even if this was just a new thing Mother Nature wanted to...
It's supposed to end. Once again, if your period ends up being really unusual, like really, really unusual in these ways, you need to start looking into it, and the sooner the better.
Test run, a period is supposed to end after about a week. So frankly, I was surprised I still had any blood left in me. My mom's a labor and delivery nurse, the one who catches babies when they're born. So whenever weird things happen with my uterus, I consult her. But she was stumped, so she recommended I just go to my local Planned Parenthood, which, by the way, I've been to before, for general checkups because my primary doctor didn't have any appointments.
Hold on, I don't know if it's brought up in the video. I want to bring up a quick stat. Planned Parenthood commonly cites a figure that only 3% of its services are for abortions. Of the almost 9.5 million services Planned Parenthood provides nationally each year, 328,348 are abortion procedures, according to the organization's annual report. So, yeah, not really that many. Hey, a pillow. Not really that large of a percentage. Most of what Planned Parenthood does is reproductive health care and helping people plan parenthood, reproductive health, getting checkups on your pregnancy. They provide like prenatal care and stuff. Mammograms, yep.
But this was the first time I'd be going for uterus-related reasons, and I was nervous. But the people who work at Planned Parenthood have always been the sweetest, most understanding group of nurses, doctors, and healthcare professionals I've ever met. So in case you've never been, here's how that goes. First, I went online to locate my nearest Planned Parenthood. Then I called the number. But before I could even talk to someone about my symptoms or set up an appointment, the person over the phone had a whole rigmarole to ensure I was in a safe household, had safe partners and people around me, and to understand they would only call me from a private number that couldn't be traced, just in case I was in an unsafe situation and couldn't be truthful during this phone call. And for some phone calls, we even set a temporary password to say out loud in case anyone tried to pretend to be me to access my records without my consent. And I'll admit, when this was explained to me, I was confused.
They got that shit locked down, and something you have to remember is a fair amount of the people who seek out Planned Parenthood services are children who have been raped by an adult who lives in their household, and they have to go in secret to seek out Planned Parenthood services. That is why a lot of those precautions are put in place. A lot of women who are in abusive relationships where they might have been raped, it's very common. Planned Parenthood is very on top of having procedures to try to protect the people who seek their services.
It seemed like a lot just for a little checkup, but then I thought about it. Planned Parenthood has got to be the most divisive place to walk into, let alone discuss out loud. After setting my appointment, which thankfully I was able to get within the next day or so, the lady on the phone made sure to tell me this. Make sure you show up to the correct address and only talk to people with Planned Parenthood badges. Some people might try to approach you, yell at you, or convince you to go to another building. They don't work for us, but they may lie and pretend they do to keep you from going to your appointment. And silly old me thought, but I'm in California, the most hippy-dippy do-whatever-you-want kind of place, right? Surely there won't be. There was a huge crowd of people. If I had to guess, there were about 20 people standing right at the entrance, holding signs, chanting, and cars driving by were honking and giving thumbs up to them.
Reminder, the vast majority of the people going inside are not there for an abortion or anything along those lines. If you're a pregnant woman going there to get some sort of prenatal care on a pregnancy you absolutely plan to carry to term, can you fucking imagine what it's like to have these people screaming at you as you go in, calling you a murderer? Or on top of that, what if you've just had a miscarriage of a child you intended to bring into this world and raise, and you plan to keep, and now you walk into Planned Parenthood for health, because you're sick, because you just had a miscarriage, and these people are outside screaming at you that you're a murderer. Put yourself in that hypothetical person's shoes. It's not very hypothetical. There are a lot of people that have been in that position. A lot of people.
And I had to drive right next to them into the parking lot. They saw my face. I saw all of theirs. And the way they looked at me was, I don't know, like pity, almost. They were laser focused on me, but not in a concerned way. It was more like a face that says, "What are you doing here?" Which probably sounds weird, but that's the best way I could describe it. I did my best to avoid eye contact and confrontation until I made it inside. And to my surprise, the people outside were so loud that I could hear them chanting and yelling from inside the waiting room.
That's
and
the point.
It felt awful. They had no idea what was going on inside me.
Back in the 80s and 90s, it was not uncommon. It was a big rash of killings of Planned Parenthood doctors and doctors who offered abortions. A lot of Planned Parenthoods have security inside now because, it is not uncommon for the crowds outside to engage in violence towards the patients walking in, towards the doctors leaving to go on their lunch break or to go home or to come into work. The people outside think those doctors are baby murdering demons. They're literally a second away from pulling out a gun and killing one of those doctors. I'll summarize the rest of the video. It'll be all right. Sorry about that, guys, but YouTube has continuously taken down my stream for attempting to play this video due to its automatic copyright system. I guess YouTube's bots do not view my channel as legitimate enough to give me the benefit of the doubt yet, which, really does hamper my ability to advocate for women's rights to choose and, to fight against the misinformation and vitriol spread by anti-abortion radicals and what have you. But, YouTube only cares about money. Their so-called progressive political, virtue signaling is just that, virtue signaling. They just want to make money. So here's what I'll do. I'll summarize the remainder of the video. She finds out she has a growth. It is not a child. It's actually, I believe, cancerous. And she needs to get at least a partial hysterectomy, if I remember correctly, to have it removed. And in many states, that is considered an abortion. To get any part of uterus tissue, or female reproductive system tissue, as they call it, removed for any type of procedure, it is legally considered an abortion in, I believe, 47 states. Something along those lines, nearly all 50 view it, even if it's benign growth, as an abortion. And then 2 weeks after she dealt with this, Roe v. Wade got struck down. Now, what I really wanted to go over as well were the comments. I read some of them, and there's one that really really stuck with me. Oh, here's a good comment. Oh, this is in doing so. YouTube recently, like last night, updated their policy around monetizing content around abortion, as supposedly as long as it's not anti-abortion. And I bet it's in response to what this comment said. It's so sad this video ended up getting demonetized / not sponsored due to the sensitive topic. This was sincerely educational and is worth more than the $0 I'd imagine you're getting from it. Why can't women's health be a normal topic? Why not, YouTube? Why does all of your policy overwhelmingly harm people on the platform who are advocating for the things you claim to believe in, while people who believe in the opposite of what you claim to believe in, and in fact break your policies, terms, and service rules, why are they getting away scot-free and in fact the most successful on the platform, making the most money, getting the most views, getting the most push from your platform? Very interesting. Let me see if I can find this. Fuck, I can't find it. When I watched the video originally, it was on my phone, and there was a comment. And it was from a girl who said that literally weeks prior to when she made the comment, she'd had a miscarriage. And in that state, it would be seen as illegal. They'd have to have like an official burial. It has to report. It has to be like considered a dead child, even though it was like I don't know, like 6 month in to the pregnancy miscarriage. So she buried the like fetus and like hid it and had to like not go to the doctor, because if so, then she could go to jail and go to prison. So she's like still sick from it. And that person might actively be dying. And I can only imagine how many more stories like that. Just that one YouTube comment. That like, I vetted it. I looked into it because I was like, so like, oh my God, I need to know more. I looked at the channel. It didn't seem like it was just a troll comment or something. I know, YouTube comment, whatever. But that story is not unheard of. And holy fuck, did that just kind of fuck with me for a couple days. Anyway. Because Roe v. Wade has been struck down, and many live in states where they no longer have the right, the medical right, to access an abortion, I feel it may be time to introduce you to your religious right to access an abortion. Allow me to introduce you all to the Church of Satan. Enjoy.
The Satanic Temple advances many just causes that protect the religious rights of our members. We champion pluralism and have repeatedly taken legal action to assure that Satanists receive the same treatment as members of other faiths. Our ability to practice our beliefs has been aided by the enactment of the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. This law generally prohibits
a law made by Republicans, pushed forward by Republicans, passed by Republicans to try to eliminate the separation of church and state and give Christianity more power in the country. This is literally the definition of malicious compliance, and I love it.
Prohibits the government from interfering with a person's free exercise of religion, which includes the performance of religious rituals. The Satanic Temple's rituals adhere to our tenets, which value science and assert bodily autonomy. As an expression of our deeply held beliefs,
I wish they just have a giant troll face in the bottom right corner of the video the entire time.
The Satanic Temple has created a religious ritual that involves terminating an
Actually, it'd be even funnier if you like put this like music, the background music, if you put it into like a an audio like vocoder or whatever, where it makes like the image out of audio, if it was just a troll face. That would go so hard.
Unwanted pregnancy during the first trimester. The religious abortion ritual involves the recitation of our third and fifth tenets, along with a personal affirmation during the abortion procedure. The ritual provides spiritual comfort and affirms bodily autonomy and self-worth. The Satanic Temple proudly announces to all of its followers that within the states that have enacted the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, religiously performed abortions are exempt from legal requirements that are not medically necessary.
Yep.
These include waiting periods, being forced to listen to the fetal heartbeat, forced burial or cremation of fetal remains, required reading materials, compulsory...
These are all things that Republicans force people who want to get an abortion or a procedure that is legally considered an abortion to do if they're going to get it.
Counseling, medically unnecessary sonograms, and the requirement that practitioners withhold certain medical information. The Satanic Temple will do all it can to assure that states protect the religious rights of our members to attain first trimester abortions on demand. Thyself is thy master. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan! All right. It goes on with the whole Q&A, by the way. If you want to get this video, I'll make sure it's linked in the description of the of this when it goes out on YouTube, and I'll drop it in the comments as well, or into the chat right now as well. There's a whole Q&A that breaks down some questions you might have and goes into a little bit more detail if this is a a thing that you might be curious about for whatever reason. Base Satanic Temple. So yeah, definitely look into that if that ends up being the only option you can go down, or one of them or whatever. But what I really want to talk about with you guys today is how the Republicans enacting their anti-abortion laws are going to have serious medical repercussions on this insane amount of birthing persons. Like, it is. It's going to be extremely medically serious. And we're going to continuously see news story after news story after news story of women being denied the ability to get life-saving care because abortion's not legal where they are. It's terrifying, but it's going to happen. It's already happening. And if you are scared of this spreading, of the continued takeover of the right in these more rural and southern states, these more conservative states, and them having enough power to take away every person in said states' rights to access abortion and life-saving medical procedures, then you may want to reach out to an organization that is actively fighting for your rights, and not only that, but is fighting for your rights to access to contraception, which of course is the best prevention to even needing an abortion in the first place in the vast majority of cases. That organization is, of course, Progressive Victory. I've been working with them for a little while now, and I love what they're doing, and I really want as many of you guys as possible to go click on that link and sign up with them. Even if you're like a shut-in NEET who likes to stay home all day and doesn't like to go outside or do in-person type stuff, they will have work for you. Please go check them out. If you want to join the fight against the people who are enforcing this shit, who are taking away your rights, making it so you can't get contraception, making it so you can't get an abortion, making it so you can't get life-saving medical care, then please contact them. They really can use your help. They're looking for volunteers, and you guys could really make a big difference. Just even a few of you joining and volunteering makes a big difference. So the more the merrier. Please check out the link. I'll also post the link to Progressive Victory in YouTube chat as well. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.